Welcome back to the EuroLeague Fantasy Podcast. I am your co-host, Frankie Sachs, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Javier Gancedo. And this is the third time I've said this today because we've had some technical issues. But we're here. There's no games this week, but we know the fantasy community demanded another episode of the podcast, so we're here to give you our best effort. Right, Javi?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we usually do this in one take, so it's been kind of fun so far. Not only one, but we'll do two, one per week. When there are 2 weeks without EuroLeague, we're going to do this episode. And the next one, we have a very special guest, somebody who happens to be a former EuroLeague MVP, which is not a very restricted thing because we have very many different EuroLeague MVPs in the history of the competition. We started the MVP award in 2005. Anthony Parker won it twice. And after that, we had, one different winner per year. So, but it's one of them, and I think you're going to like it, and it's a good surprise. We'll let you know who it is next week.
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, what we promised to do is review the first 2/3 of the season, roughly. Let's go back and see who have been the most exciting players, the biggest disappointments. Let's see what we can learn and take it forward, which will help us for the home stretch.
Are we going to call awards also, or let's do it, right?
Let's do it. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah,
so should we start with the players who have given the most, who have been the most valuable this year to teams for the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge teams?
You mean the ones that gain more credits or the ones that have been stars?
Let's start with the ones who've gained the most credits. Do you know who the players who've gained the most credits this season are?
I think it has to be Chima Moneke for sure.
Absolutely. It is Chima Moneke. He has gained 5.2 credits, which is the most of any player. There have been 5 players who've gained 4 credits, but there's somebody who's gained even more value than Chima Moneke percentage-wise this season. Can you guess what player has percentage-wise raised his value the most?
I don't know. Let me think. Banja Marinkovic, who was really cheap at the beginning.
That's a good guess. You're on the right track.
I'm on the right track.
Yes.
Vladimir McIntyre, he had a monster game the other day.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to overtake his teammate, who's gained the most this season.
Is he a Baskonia player?
He is a Baskonia player, yes.
I know who it is. Taras Selekarskis.
That's right. He started off the season 7.7 credits. He is now 11.7. He's gained 4 credits. That's more than 50% of his original value. No player has shot up. There have been a lot of guys who've gained significant value this season, but nobody quite like that. It's been a great breakout season. I think that we all need to, in general, fantasy or not fantasy, tip our hats to Baskonia. You don't see teams that are able to develop talent over so many years the way they have. He's not a new name. We've known him forever. All of a sudden this year, he's not just a fantasy superstar, and he is a fantasy superstar until he recently got injured, but he's been a huge impact player for the team.
And for many weeks, he's been the leading rebounder of the competition. A player that they grew since a very young age, sent them on loan. They were patient with him, and now they are, he's, like I said, he's a superstar. He's undeniable. Yeah. He's one of the best rebounders in the league, one of the most consistent players in the league. So very good. Very well done, Baskonia.
So we've got the 2 players from Baskonia, or 2 of the 5 players in the league, who've gained 4 credits from their opening night price to today. Who are the other 3?
Let me see. I'm going to check it out. It has to be Mike James because it's 19 credits. So
that's right. It's one.
I don't know.
It's 2 other names that we discuss a lot on the podcast.
2 other names that we discuss. Has to be an FS player. Dano Turu?
No.
Shane Larkin.
Shane Larkin. Yes.
All right. And the other, I give up. I don't know. Ramona Siskauskas. I really don't know. David Anderson.
The other is Keenan Evans.
Keenan Evans, I would never say that.
Well, we've been talking about him regularly the last couple of weeks, and
yes,
Keenan Evans did not start with a huge price. It was not cheap. He was 12.8, but there was questions about coming off the injury. What would he be? But now he's established himself in that conversation among the very best guards in the league.
I think he's even better than before. And he was playing really well before the injury. It was a really, really unfortunate injury. If you remember, he grabbed a rebound and just fell down on his own. Nobody touched him. Yes. And he broke his ACL just like that. It was not even a bad move or anything. I don't know what happened. But I'm glad to see that
it was his Achilles tendon, if I'm not mistaken. not his
Right.
ruptured Achilles tendon. And those are funny injuries that often happen with non-contact. But yes, I remember watching the game, and it was very sad for a player who seemed to be a breakout player. And the thing coming back from injury like that is you never know when will they be 100%. Well, now we're seeing Keenan Evans at 100%, and he is a EuroLeague star.
All right. Well, it's been really difficult to win credits in the fantasy challenges here, even when the leaders have around 130 because they've been doing well. And when you do well, prices go up and budget goes up. But I have a little game for you. We have these cards that we use for players on media day for the fantasy challenge. We have some of them in the office, and I'm going to show you. And you have to. I'm going to show you with his initial price.
Okay.
You have to say his current price and predict.
No, don't show. I have the current price. You're going to show me, and I'm going to guess the original price. You're
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start with Vladimir Lucic.
Okay, Vladimir Lucic's current price is 9.6. I'm going to guess that he started the season at 12.1.
12.1. Well, that's really good. It was 12.
Not bad at all.
All
Pat
right.
myself on the shoulder there.
We have Will Clyburn here. Oh,
I saw it.
yeah.
I saw the 15.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I was going to guess 15 though.
Yeah, really? Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but now it's going to get more difficult with El Chacho.
Okay, Chacho 5.8. I'm going to guess he's somewhere in the 9s. Let's go 9.6.
9.6. You have 9.1.
9.1.
Okay.
All right.
You're really good at this. I saved the most difficult ones for last.
Okay.
Because he's been injured. His price went down. He's a superstar, Nikola Mirotic.
Yeah, I had him round 1. And I think everybody had him round 2. His current price is 14.6. He was a little bit more than that. I'm going to guess he started the season at 15.4.
It's 15.5.
Wow.
Very good. Oh, round 2. Do you remember? It was 80 points or something.
Yes.
The fantasy bug. Oh, I remember it very well. Yeah. Everybody had him. And finally, Thomas Satoransky.
All right. Satoransky is right now 12.1. He was, I'm guessing, somewhere in the 13 to 14 range. I will say, his number is 13 also. So let's go 13.9.
It's 13.0. Not bad. You've done very well.
Okay. All right.
We have to make Edu give you a round of applause or something.
That's right. I will tell her to do that. Sorry, you had mentioned earlier Dan Oturu. So when I was doing some research for this, I looked at all the players this season who had joined the EuroLeague after round 1. Never played the EuroLeague before. New players to the competition and signed mid-season, like Dan Oturu. And one interesting thing that I found was there's only one player out of all of the mid-season signings who's gained fantasy value from the time he debuted. Can you guess who that was?
It's Oturu, of course.
No, Oturu gained value at first when he first came to FS when they were shorthanded. They really needed. He jumped in and he had a nice run there. But then when FS got back to full strength, with Tyreek Jones and Tibor Pleiss with 3 centers, he wasn't playing as much, and now he's less than his original price. The only player in the entire game this season who is, as of now, worth more than his debut of the midseason signings, of course, is Moses Wright.
Moses Wright, I would never have said Moses.
And even
Wright,
that
ever,
is only
ever.
1/10 of a point more. So
wow, like I said, it's really difficult to win to gain credits in this game this season, which I think is a good idea. I mean, it's the harder you earn the cash, the better, right?
Right, but so that we've had this conversation before. What do you want to do about new players? And I think that the lesson is be wary, be careful. The new players, sometimes they're priced a little high for guys that don't have the preseason, and they're not going to step right in. And even if they do, because there's the opportunity like Oturu, then that opportunity sometimes goes away because other guys come back and pinch their minutes. So
that's going to be my approach with Ricky Rubio when he comes back, if he comes back. I'm told that he's been practicing well and he should play at some point, just like Pau Gasol did at the end of the regular season. But he was never a really great fantasy player in the first place when he played as a teenager in Barca and Juventud, and he's not a very stat padding guy, let's say.
Well, he misses the points. He used to get a lot of steals. He's got a lot of assists, but without the points, it's really hard to rack it up. And he's probably not going to get a ton of rebounds. Maybe he's a good rebounding guard, but on that team,
he's a very good rebounding guard.
On that team, but he's not going to be averaging 6-7 rebounds to really put him in that area. So the question will be, how much does he score? And I don't think that he's needed to score. So yeah, I would be very careful of Ricky Rubio. Again, I think he is tremendous on-court value, real life value for Barcelona. Fantasy challenge, I don't know that I'm adding Ricky Rubio to my team, at least not at first. If he plays, a month of limited minutes and his price starts to dip and then he gets hot, it's a different story. But when he first starts playing, I'd be very wary of Ricky Rubio. Speaking of players whose values have dropped, I also have here the players who have lost the most value from opening night in the entire season. Who would you guess are the players who are the most overpriced to start the season?
Kemba Walker?
Kemba Walker, top of the list. That's right. He started at 15.2, and he's lost 6.8 credits. He's down to 8.4.
Yeah, makes sense because he hasn't playing much. Has to be somebody who was really hyped up. Maybe Juancho Hernan Gomez?
He's fifth. Very good. You're good at this game. Yeah, he was 14.7. He's lost 5.1. He's now 9.4.
I don't know. I give up. I already gave you two names. That's more than I thought I was going to do.
I'll give you a hint. Another one is Juancho's teammate at Panathinaikos.
Oh, I don't know. Kostas Lukas?
Ponitka.
No. Of course. He hasn't been playing much, and then he had a really high profile after his season with Zenit. Yeah, makes sense.
And then another Panathinaikos player at guard.
At guard, Jerian Grant? No. Cannot be. If it's not Lucas and it's a Jerian Grant, I don't know who can be.
Vildoza.
Vildoza.
Yeah, he
makes
was
sense.
12.7, and he's dropped all the way down to 7. And the other player on this list who's a top 5 is from Maccabi, Antonio Cleveland.
Oh, makes sense. He hasn't been playing too much.
Yes, he lost 5.8 credits. So again, be careful sometimes of those. Did Juancho play at all in the EuroLeague before, even limited minutes, or was he new to the EuroLeague?
No. He never played before. Before.
So 3 of the 5 are new to the EuroLeague, which again, always a red light. This shows why in real life also we talk how important experience is. It takes the time to adjust. 3 of these guys are new. The big surprise is Vildoza.
Yeah, to me it is. Okay, I have a list of most owned players right now. You want to take a look or take a guess about it?
I'd be stunned if on the most owned players we're not seeing right now both Shane Larkin and Mike James.
Well, Mike James is second. 19.7% of the teams have Mike James. But Shane Larkin is not there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I told everybody to pick him up last week, and he had a great week. So why isn't he there?
Yeah, I don't know. People
aren't listening to me.
Actually, I didn't listen to you, and I paid a high price. I mean, in the end, I had Keenan Evans as captain, which is okay, but it wasn't perfect. Shane Larkin is 21st.
Okay.
In the list of most owned players. The fifth on the list is Facu Campazzo.
Okay.
15.6%.
Is Chima up there?
Chima is number 1, yeah, almost 20%.
Okay. Makes sense.
Third is Kevin Panther, which surprises me because he didn't have such a great fantasy season.
But there's always a boost to the Partizan players.
Yeah, and that's why number 4 is Alex Abramovich, who was the most bought player at the beginning of the game.
Correct.
And now he's down to 16.4%, which is a lot of players. It's like pretty much 1 out of 6 teams have Abramovich, but it's not what it used to be before.
Do you remember he had a monster opening night against Maccabi?
Yeah.
So I wish we had the numbers what he was going into round 2, because he was off the charts to start the season. Then after that game, everyone must have jumped on the train, but then the injury hit.
But there will be Alexa Mania at the beginning, at the end of the regular season. I think he's going to be playing well. I'm sure that this guy, with his defensive intensity, with his driving skills, with his shooting touch, he's going to be very important for Obradovic at the end of the regular season. And now that he's injury free, hopefully he'll be healthy by the break finishes. I think he'll be at 5.5 credits is going to be something special. But that's for next week. We're going to discuss with our mystery guest about this. Hopefully he'll be there. Let's see. I mean, he's a very busy man.
You're putting us in trouble if we've built this up and he doesn't show. We're gonna have to find another EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah, true. I have the number of like 3 of them, so let's see. If
All
one
right.
doesn't, we have to look for favors and stuff. But I hope he is loyal to his word, and he's probably watching this, so we'll see.
In the meantime,
Anyway, MVP.
I hope everyone's enjoyed this, right? With just a little bit of throwing around some numbers and
But we haven't named MVP and first team of fantasy until now. So
Okay.
we promised. Who would be your MVP?
I would have said a month ago or 3 weeks ago, I might have said Sitakurskis, but it is kind of funny to name an MVP, and also because I had him on my team round 1. So getting all that value for such a low price, that's one of the ways that you gain all the value that you know that I have in the game, getting up to 120 credits. It's kind of funny to name an MVP who was injured. I think I would go Shane Larkin.
Okay, for me it would be Chima Moneka. He has rescued me many times, and I'll go Chima Moneka. He's been fantastic for me. And
I thought Toko was your guy.
Toko is my guy, but I would put him in the all fantasy. My all fantasy first team would be Moneka and Shengelia as forwards. I didn't have Mike James a lot, so I'm gonna put Keenan Evans and Larkin as guards. And my go-to center has been probably Poirier. Every time that Tavares went down, or every time he played a really good game, I had been Saint Poirier ready to deliver. So, but also Tibor Pleiss has been my team for a good number of weeks. So, had to be one of the 2.
So I would go with at center Jonas Tiemann. Who's it's been a while, but he's one of the top 10 gainers for the season. I think he's gained 3.1 credits for the season, something like that. And for a while, he was giving great value. At a certain point, he was so expensive that I just felt he couldn't continue to produce that value.
He couldn't miss at some point. He was doing 15, 17, 18, 20 every single round.
Yes, yeah, I know. He
amazing.
He had a monster run there. Then he got hurt. And I even actually then went with Kumaje for a little bit when Tiemann was hurt, because the Alba centers tend to produce. So I think if we're looking at the full 26 rounds, given his price, what he started at, and his production, he'd be my choice at center. I would go with both Baskonia forwards. I mean, Moneka has been on my team for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and I also had him round 1. There was a bit of a period where I may not have had him in the middle, but I had him round 1. He's probably been him and Sitakurskis may have been the forwards I've owned the most all season. And then I'd stick with James and Larkin, even though they're high priced. And it was tough in the beginning of the season to get so many superstars, which is why a guy like Sitakurskis is so valuable. But now I ride them through. Those are fantasy all-stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, that's all we have time for, I think. Stay tuned. Like I said, we'll be back next week, and enjoy the EuroLeague break. But don't forget that the Fantasy Challenge continues after it. So be ready.
That's right. It's a time that I encourage everybody watching. Check out the domestic cups. See how the guys are doing. See who's in shape. Pay attention not just to injuries, but also see if something happens. Who are the guys that get a little bit more burn? Who play themselves more into the rotation? Those are important things that you'll want to keep in the back in your mind when you're picking your round 27 roster in 2 weeks. Javi and I will certainly be paying attention and trying to learn so that we have our best teams out there in round 27, which is. We'll pick our teams in 2 weeks, but unlimited trades, so you can rebuild completely.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget that. That's important. Unlimited trades when you come back, so be ready to rebuild your team as you like. And I think that picking the right, let's say, cheaper players is going to be critical, because everybody's going to have the same stars.
Absolutely.
And the cheap players are going to make the difference, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for joining us. It's fun as always, and we'll see you here next week.
Take care.